Hi all my 10th standard ICSE students. So here I am, Himangi, back again, your English facilitator, to continue with Julius Caesar, Act 3, and I think we're going to start with Scene 2. So let's finish quickly. Today is a holiday again for you all. So you can go through the entire scene as a quick revision if your schools have already taught it to you, or you can learn it with me, whatever suits you. Now, before I actually plunge into the text, I would like to tell you all that today is the 14th of April, as you all know, and you all are having. And why do you all have holiday in school? Because we in India, we are celebrating Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, the one who gave us the constitution single-handedly. We are celebrating his birth anniversary today. So let us, for just a moment, let that sit in your minds for a moment, that and we bow our heads in gratitude for such a great person who gave us our constitution, which we hold high. Above the constitution, there is nothing for an Indian. So we live by the constitution. So for one moment, I want you all to just bow your heads in gratitude for that one person, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. And while we celebrate that, even according to our lunar calendar, today, we follow the lunar calendar. So today is also Baisakhi. The Baisakhi is the harvest festival which is followed in Punjab, where we reap the fruits of our action. So we reap the fruits of our karma. All of us, like I told you in the very first module, that we all have to perform our actions irrespective of the result, and the result will flow to you automatically according to the karma, according to your actions. So keep studying, because that is your action. So much for today's two festivals, and we shall begin with Act 3, Scene 2. Okay. This scene shows the power of verbal persuasion to achieve political power. Okay. The citizens demand to know why Caesar was murdered. Brutus calmly explains to the citizens the reason that made Caesar's death necessary. Brutus tells the crowd that he loved Caesar, but he loved Rome even more. He slew Caesar because he was ambitious and would have made slaves of all of them. Antony's emotional speech describes Caesar's love for Rome and his sympathy for the Romans. He shows them Caesar's wounds and reads out the contents of his will. He so works upon the mob that Brutus and Cassius are forced to ride like madmen out of Rome. Brutus fails to win over the crowd because he appeals to their mind, and Antony succeeds because he appeals to their heart. So Antony succeeds, and we also see that Antony indeed is a great orator, because it is his oratory skills, the use of which he makes to turn the crowd away from the conspirators and in his favor, in favor of Caesar. Now, where does this scene take place? Scene 2, Rome, the Forum. What is the Forum? It is the quadrangle where the Senate meetings are held, political gatherings and judicial proceedings also take place in the Forum. So that is the scene is happening in the Forum. What is the Forum? Read what is given to you. The quadrangle where the Senate meetings, political gatherings and the judicial proceedings also took place. Okay, now who enters over here? Brutus, Cassius and a crowd of citizens. We will be satisfied. Let us be satisfied. Brutus, then follow me and give me audience. Give me audience means give me a hearing. I'll explain to you. Cassius, go you into the other street. So now Brutus is as if he's in charge of everything, and he's telling Cassius, go to the other street and part the numbers. Part the numbers means part the crowd. So those who will hear me speak, let them stay here. Those who will hear Cassius speak, let them go to Cassius. And public reasons shall be rendered of Caesar's death. Means we will convince the public, or we will tell the public why Caesar had to be killed. Okay, first citizen, I will hear Brutus speak. Second citizen, I will hear Cassius, and we will compare their reasons when severally we hear them rendered. He's saying, so the first citizen says, I want to hear Cassius, Brutus, and the second one says, I want to hear Cassius. And then the second one says, what will we do? When you have heard Brutus, I have heard Cassius, we will compare their reasons. So we will come to know if they are giving the same reasons or are they just making up the reasons. Okay, so exit Cassius with some of the citizens, and Brutus goes to the pulpit. Third citizen, the noble Brutus is ascended. Silence. Brutus, be patient till the last, means till the very end. Please be patient. Romans, countrymen, and lovers, hear me for my cause, and be silent that you may hear. So he's telling everyone, please be silent so that you can hear what I have to say to you. Believe me for my honor. So please believe me because I have my honor, for the respect that you hold to me. Believe me for my honor, that you may believe. Censure me in your wisdom. Censure me means judge me, understand, judge me. Judge me in your wisdom. So use your wisdom and judge me. Okay, awake your senses. Awake your senses means awake your understanding. Try and understand what has happened, that you may be a better judge. So first you understand. If you want to be a good judge, you have to first understand what is happening and why a particular thing has happened. So you want to judge me, you want to censure me in your wisdom. Then first awake your senses means awake your understanding of what has happened, that you may the better judge. If there be any in this assembly is gathering, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say. So first he is attending Caesar's friends. He is answering Caesar's friends. He is saying that if there is anybody in this entire crowd, this gathering, who was a friend of Caesar's, then I want to tell him first. First I want to tell him, I say that Brutus's love to Caesar was no less than his. If then that friend demands why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. So he's saying, if that person, that friend will then demand that if you are a friend of Caesar and you loved him so much, why did you rise against him? Why did you assassinate him? Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Please learn this by heart. Why? What is the first reason he gives to Caesar's friends? That I loved Caesar, not that I loved Caesar less, but I loved Rome more, the country more. Had you rather Caesar were living and die all slaves, than Caesar were dead to live all free men? So he's asking them that would you rather have Caesar living and you all become his slaves, or would you rather die as free men? As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was fortunate, means successful, I rejoice. So I weep for him because I loved him. As Caesar loved me, so I weep for him. As he was fortunate, successful, I rejoice. As he was valiant, I honor, means I respect him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. So he has given the reasons why Caesar was slain, why he was assassinated. There is tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition. So he has given all the reasons. So please make a note of all that. So the first thing he says is that as Caesar loved me, I weep for him. That means there is tears in my eyes. There are tears in my eyes because I loved him. As he was fortunate, means successful, I rejoice. So because he was fortunate, I have joy for his fortune. Then please read both all these lines simultaneously so that you understand. As he was valiant, I honor him. So there is honor, respect for his valor, for his bravery. I have a lot of respect for that. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. But because he was ambitious, I have put him to silence, means I have killed him, I have slain him. Who is here so base? That would be a bondman. So he's saying which person, which Roman citizen is so low in character that he would like to live as a slave? If any, speak. For him I have offended. If there is any such person who is so low in character that who would want to die as a slave, speak up. I have offended that person. Who is here so rude that would not be a Roman? If any, speak for him. For him I have offended. Who is here so vile that will not love his country? Vile means who is so mean, who is so base that he would not love his own country. If any, speak. For him I have offended. I pause here for a reply. Now just see, this is a mark of good oration. So here we see that Brutus is also a good orator because he is waiting for a reply. He is giving a pause and he clearly says, I pause for a reply. Now, what are the characteristics of Brutus's speech? Because this speech is also equally important. The characteristics of his speech, of Brutus's speech, are it is cold, it is unemotional, there are no emotions in it. It is a calm speech. It is prosaic. Prosaic means it is recited like a prose. Okay, it is very logical and it is very rational. So it is logical and rational. So these are the characteristics of Brutus's speech. But it is also good oration because he is saying I pause for a reply. So a good speech is where you wait for the audience's response. So that is one of the qualities of Brutus's speech also, along with the other 6 characteristics that I have given you. Okay, so he is saying none I have offended. So I pause for a reply. Now the citizens are saying, none, Brutus, none. Means you have not offended anybody, none. Then none have I offended. And I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. What does he mean by saying that? That if Brutus becomes a tyrant, if Brutus starts a tyrannical rule, then you should do the same thing that I have done to Caesar. You all citizens do the same thing to me. Means you all also assassinate me, kill me. Okay, the question of his death is enrolled in the Capitol. The question means the reasons for his death, why he has been killed, is enrolled, means it is recorded. It is enrolled in the Capitol. His glory is not extenuated. That means his glory has not been reduced or made less. Extenuated means made less, wherein he was worthy. So whatever he was worthy for, his glory we have not made less. So that is what has been recorded in the Capitol. So his glory has not been extenuated, nor his offenses enforced. That means we have not highlighted his faults. Sorry. So we have not made less his glories, and neither have we highlighted his faults for which we have killed him. That means because he was ambitious, we have killed him. Enter Antony and others with Caesar's body. Here comes his body, mourned by Mark Antony, who though he had no hand in his death, shall receive the benefit of his dying. So he's saying, here comes Mark Antony with Caesar's body. And even though Antony did not have any hand in his death, that means Antony was not a conspirator. Brutus clarifies, Brutus is so noble that he immediately puts it forth that Antony does not have a hand in, Mark Antony has no hand in Caesar's death, means he is not a part of the conspiracy, but he is going to receive the benefit of his dying, just like all of you. So all of you are going to receive the benefit of Caesar's death. And what is that benefit? That benefit is that you will get a place in the Commonwealth. That means you will be able to live in a free republic. As which of you shall not? With this I depart, that as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, means I slew the person whom I loved so much, Caesar, for the betterment of Rome, I have the same dagger for myself, when it shall please my country to need my death. So if I become tyrannical, and if my countrymen, if the citizens of Rome decide that I have to be killed, then I have the same dagger for myself also, and I depart with that. So here we find Brutus's speech also. It's a very good speech, and there are certain parts which I have made you underline that you should learn So we continue. Citizens, live Brutus, live. First citizen, bring him with triumph home unto his house. Second citizen, give him a statue with his ancestors. Third citizen, let him be Caesar. Fourth, Caesar's better parts shall be crowned in Brutus. First, we'll bring him to his house with shouts and clamors. My countrymen. So he's saying, wait, my countrymen, wait. Okay, good countrymen, peace ho. Good countrymen, let me depart alone. Means let me go from here alone. I want you all to stay back. Don't come with me. You wait over here. And for my sake, stay here with Antony and do grace to Caesar's corpse. Means grace means give him that respect. To whom? To honor Caesar's corpse and grace his speech, respect his speech, tending to Caesar's glories. That means he will talk to you about Caesar's glories. Okay. Which Mark Antony by our permission is allowed to make. So he's saying we have given him. We is who? The conspirators. Our means we. So we conspirators have given permission to Mark Antony to speak about Caesar's glories, and I want you to stay back and respect his speech and respect the fact that he's telling you all the glories or achievements of Caesar. I do entreat you, not a man depart. Nobody shall go from here, excepting me alone, save I alone, till Antony has spoken. Stay ho, let us hear Mark Antony. Third citizen, let him go up to the public chair. We'll hear him. Noble Antony, go up. For Brutus's sake, I am beholding you. And he goes to the pulpit. So Antony says that. For Brutus's sake means on behalf of Brutus, I am grateful to all of you all because you are staying back to listen to me. Fourth citizen, what does he say of Brutus? He says for Brutus's sake, he finds himself beholding to us all. It were best he speak no harm of Brutus over here. First citizen, this Caesar was a tyrant. Nay, that's certain. Really, that is certain. He was a tyrannical person. We are blessed that Rome is rid of him. Second citizen, peace. Let us hear what Antony has to say. Antony, you gentle Romans. So he begins with that first line. Citizens, peace ho, let us hear him. So this is what now Antony's speech is going to start. Now children, this speech of Antony is very, very important and you all really must mark it, learn it by heart, because this is one of the most important speeches of this textbook, Julius Caesar, and it is not only that it may or may not come as a reference to context answer, but it is important because of the words he has used and because of the way he orates. His oratory skills is what we see over here, and thus we come to know that how Antony has been successful in turning the tables from the favoring of the conspirators into favoring of the second triumvirate, which is going to soon be formed. At the end of it, we'll come to know how the second triumvirate is formed, which I have mentioned to you in my module 1. Okay, so this speech, please learn. It's very, very, very important. And he begins with the first line, friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Lend me your ears means give me your ears. Let me speak, and when I am speaking, I want you all to be all attention. I want you all to give me your full attention. I'm going to be reading Antony's speech. Okay, now this speech I'm going to read without a break because most of you by now are used to Shakespearean language, so you will also enjoy this speech. And then later on we'll come to the explanation part. Okay, first I'll just read it. Friends, Antony, Mark Antony. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus had told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously had Caesar answered it. Here, under the leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man. So are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When that the poor have cried, Caesar had wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he thrice refused. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure he is an honorable man. I speak not to disapprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without a cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for him? O judgment, thou art fled to brutish hearts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin, there with Caesar, and I must pause till it comes back to me. What a beautiful speech, na? Please learn whatever you can. The more you read it, the more you'll be able to remember it, and it'll be better. It will help you to quote Antony, even if it is not given in this reference. But these words can be quoted for other answers. It will enrich your answer quality. So we begin. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, means I have come to bury Caesar. They used to bury the dead people, and not to praise him, means I have not come here to praise Caesar. The evil that men do lives after them. That means the bad things or the evil things which people have done continue to be remembered by the other people. So people will remember if you have done them wrong. People will remember if you have done any evil act. Why? Because the good is oft interred with their bones, means it is often buried. It is forgotten. The good that you have done to people, people will forget. But even the slightest of wrong that you have done to them, that people will remember. Okay, so let it be with Caesar. So the same thing is going to happen to Caesar, because he was, in fact, he's trying to say he was just a human being. So what we do with all human beings is what is going to happen with Caesar. His good is going to be buried. The good that he has done for you, it will be buried with his bones, with his body. But whatever wrong he has done to you, whatever fault he has done towards you all, that will be remembered. The noble Brutus had told you that Caesar was ambitious. If it was so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously had Caesar answered for it. So now here he is saying the noble Brutus. Please note that every time he uses the word noble or honorable, there is a slight sarcasm in his tone. So here he is saying that the noble Brutus has told you that Caesar was ambitious. And if Brutus has said that, because Brutus is an honorable person, then Caesar was ambitious, and that was a grievous fault, a serious fault, and Caesar has paid for that fault. Okay. Here under the leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man. So they are all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. So he's saying I have come here to speak under their permission, and they are all honorable people, not only Brutus. All of them are honorable, and I am speaking with their permission. He was a friend, faithful and just to me. He gives his first three qualities, that he was a friend, he was faithful, and he was just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. So, even though he had these three qualities of being a good friend, of being faithful, and of being just, yet Brutus says that he was ambitious and Brutus is honorable. So, I believe Brutus. Okay. He had brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? So he's saying Caesar had brought home many captives, conquered rulers, read the meaning, conquered rulers and soldiers whom he had brought home as slaves from their homes, and he had filled the Roman coffers. Do you think this was ambition? When that the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept. So he's saying whenever the poor people have cried, Caesar has wept with them. Don't you think ambition should be made of sterner stuff? Just because somebody is crying, why should I cry? So ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet, Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable person. So even though Brutus is saying that he was ambitious, so then he must have been ambitious. But so he's saying that I actually think ambition should be more sterner. He should not have wept when you all wept. Why should he cry when you all are crying? But Brutus is saying he is ambitious. So he is ambitious because Brutus is honorable. You all did see that on the Lupercal, means at the feast of Lupercal, I thrice presented to him the Roman crown, the kingly crown. 3 times I gave him the crown, and 3 times he refused the crown. Okay, was this ambition? Do you think this was ambition, that somebody offers you a crown 3 times and 3 times you refuse the crown? Is that ambition? But Brutus is saying he was ambitious, and sure, he is an honorable man. So he has given all his reasons very slyly, and he is sort of appealing to the emotions of the people. He is not very logical, but he is giving true facts of what has actually happened. He is giving the truth of what has actually happened. So what are these 3 things that he has told them? The first example he has given, come back to the speech. The first example he has given is he hath brought home many captives whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. That means it benefited Rome because he brought those people and he brought a lot of wealth, and it filled our general coffers. The general coffers of Rome were filled. The second example, that when the poor have cried, when the poor people have cried, at that time Caesar has also cried. And ambition should be sterner. You should not cry at the drop of a hat. But Caesar used to cry. Do you think this was ambition? But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus was honorable. So I agree with Brutus. Third example, he says that I had offered him the crown 3 times and he refused it. And do you think this was ambitious? So he has given us 3 full examples. Okay. So and then he continues, I am here to speak what I do know. He's saying, I am not here to disapprove of what Brutus says because Brutus is honorable, but I have come here just to tell you about Caesar, whatever I know, whatever knowledge I have about Caesar, I have come to tell you. You all did love him once, and not without a cause. Means you all loved Caesar once, isn't it? And it was not without a cause. It was not without a reason. So what is the reason which holds you all back from giving respect to Brutus's corpse? Why are you afraid of mourning for him? You all have loved him. You all have had a reason to love him. So why can't you mourn his death? What is the reason? And then it is like as if he is talking to judgment. Oh, judgment, thou art fled to the brutish beasts. Meaning he is rebuking the citizens of Rome. And it is as if he is telling them that you have lost the power of judgment. You are not able to judge. And the power of judgment has taken its residence, means it has gone to the brutish people, to the wild people who don't have any sense of judgment. So why are you doing that? The first citizen, methinks there is much reason in his sayings. Second citizen, if thou consider rightly the matter, Caesar has had great wrong. So now see, Antony has swayed the citizens. Third citizen, has he masters? I fear there will a worse come in his place. So he's saying, really? Have we done wrong to Caesar? Has Caesar been wronged? Then somebody more tyrannical than Caesar will come, or worse will come in his place. Marked ye his words? He would not take the crown. Therefore, it is certain that he was not ambitious. So he's saying that Caesar, listen to the words of Antony. He has said that Caesar did not accept the crown even though it was given to him 3 times. So he's saying that Caesar was certainly not ambitious, even though Brutus is saying he was ambitious and that they killed him for this fault of his, what is the fault that Brutus has said? That he was ambitious. But he is saying very clearly that all these points prove to us that Caesar was not ambitious. That means Caesar has been wronged. He has been wrongly assassinated. There was no reason to assassinate Caesar. If it be found so, some will dearly abide it. So the first citizen is saying that if we come to know and if it is proved beyond doubt that Caesar was not ambitious, then those conspirators who have killed Caesar, his assassins, they will dearly pay for this grievous fault. So now the grievous fault has shifted to the conspirators, that unless they prove that Caesar was ambitious, then that means it has been proved that Caesar was not ambitious, and the conspirators have told us that Caesar was ambitious. Now because this has been proved wrong, therefore the conspirators will pay for this wrong, savage, brutal act. Second citizen, poor soul, his eyes are red as fire with weeping. Third citizen, there is not a man nobler in Rome than Antony. Fourth citizen, now mark him. He begins again to speak. So here now the citizens have been completely turned, and instead of siding with the conspirators or agreeing to the fact that Caesar was ambitious, they are now saying that Caesar was not ambitious. So the tables have turned. This is the mark of a good orator. He has turned the tables absolutely in his favor. And he says, the fourth citizen says, mark him, means mark Antony. He begins to speak again. Now I'll stop over here, children, because this part of this Antony's speech again is very important, because he has succeeded with his earlier speech in turning the tables. Now he is going to consolidate his position with this next speech. So we'll stop this module over here, and I'll see you next time to continue Act 3, Scene 2. Here's Hemangi, your English facilitator for ICSE English Literature at the moment, seeing you off for the day. And do study, because if you learn all these speeches, if you read them, just by reading them over and over again, this is my experience, children, just by reading them over and over again, you will learn it automatically. And when you read them with expression, the way you see I am reading. So when you read something with expression, it goes into your memory. Like, when you say, friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. So when you read it with that expression and emotion, it will stay in your minds longer. Probably for a lifetime. Like for me, it's just there. So the same thing will happen to you, and you'll enjoy it, believe me. So please do study till I see you again to continue with Antony's speech. Here's wishing you all a goodbye. And while you go for your classes and you learn everything, don't forget to enjoy, because you still have time to enjoy and relax. Bye everyone.